Many times have you thought about how you can make your life better, but you gave up when it became tough? Or you started an ambition that was going to help your life out, and then you stopped, not giving it that time, not giving it that money, not giving it the full thought and effort that you would give other things. And this is ourselves, right? We are super important. And when you realize that each one of us is super important, then you'll realize how much time and effort and money that you're wasting on all these other things that are just going to get old, get broke, and you're not going to want anymore in the end. Hi, I'm Tom Sowell, and you're listening to the Social Seed Podcast. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you pat yourself on the back for listening to something on social media that will help your life. And I have a question. Have you ever felt like you're supposed to have it all figured out right now, but deep down, you're still piecing it together? What if I told you that's exactly how it works? Because life isn't a race to the finish. It's a puzzle. You're meant to put together piece by piece. And that's the best part. You get to create every single piece of your life. Today's episode is all about perspective, growth, and creativity. And let's begin with this quote by Thomas M. Sowell. Your life is a puzzle, and you are the creator of all of its pieces. Make it a masterpiece, end quote. And our lives, our masterpieces, started off when we were young. They were shaped by our schools, our family, and the society that we lived in. And we were influenced greatly by our parents, our teachers, and other authority figures that we may have known. But now, as we get older, something interesting happens, right? We're grown up. We get to build all the pieces to our life to create our masterpiece. So now it's not up to our parents. It's not up to all those authority figures. Our life, our lives are all on us. We decide what we do. We make our decisions, who we want to be, who we want to become. And it's kind of great because we're still very young and realizing this opportunity that, this is the beginning of your life, not the end. That you get to change your life the way you want it. And before I get too deep into this next part, I want you to give a little perspective about how we treat ourselves and how we treat things like material possessions that we own. And first, I want you to think about your car. How much time, how much money, how much thought do people put into their cars? They get paint jobs, they get ground effects, they get the radio, they get the tent, they get the rims. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. And it's a lot of thought. And what about the maintenance that we give to our mobiles? We give them filters, we change our oil, we give them new tires. When something breaks, we fix it. When we want something to be better in our car, we purchase it. Now think about our houses. For those of you who own houses, if it needs a new roof, you get a new roof, right? If it needs a new paint job, you get a new paint job. If something breaks on your house, you fix it. You take care of it. And think about our yards. How much money do we spend on flowers, the landscaping, mowing it, all the machinery? All that costs a lot of time, a lot of money. And what if we gave this much time, this much thought, this much effort into ourselves, realizing that we are more important than our material possessions, our mind, our body, our health, and our happiness. All these things are so much more important than the material possessions that we own. But how much thought do we give to those? And we put ourselves second to the world, which is kind of crazy. I believe that until we realize ourselves is more important than the things that we own, and that our thoughts create our reality, and to get rid of all the distractions that keep us from becoming our best self, that we're never going to be truly happy, because we're always going to be distracted, always be busy and owing money and dealing with other things. And how many times have you thought about how you can make your life better, but you gave up when it became tough? Or you started an ambition that was going to help your life out, and then you stopped, you know, not giving it that time, not giving it that money, not giving it the full thought and effort that you would give other things. And like, this is ourselves, right? We are super important. And when you realize that each one of us is super important, then you'll realize how much time and effort and money that you're wasting on all these other things that are just going to get old, get broke, and you're not going to want anymore in the end. And when you invest that time in yourself, it's everlasting. It doesn't go away, right? It's there. When you learn it, that's an investment that keeps giving and giving and giving. So take a moment and think about you, your body. This is the thing. This is the capsule that holds all your organs. It keeps you moving all around. It lets you live your life. Are you giving it the right maintenance? Are you giving it the right time, the right thoughts to make it so that it's healthy? Are you giving it the right foods? Are you giving it enough water? Are you giving it enough sleep? You know, you need to make yourself strong. You need to make yourself healthy so that you last long, right? Because just like your car, when you do all the maintenance on it, you want it to last long. Well, your body is the same thing. If you take it for granted, when you get older, bad things are going to happen to it. And you're going to miss some of those puzzle pieces to your life. You're not going to be able to add as many as you'd like to. It's going to be cut short. And now think about your mind. Are you using it? Like, just because you graduated high school, just because you graduated college, just because you got that killer job, doesn't mean that you stop learning. Doesn't mean that you stop challenging your mind. It's like that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. Like, you're going to lose those neural connections. You're going to forget words. You're not going to be as sharp as you used to. But if you're always challenging yourself and learning new things, sharpening your skills, you're going to perform better. You're going to think clearer. And then if you take your healthy, strong body and then combine it with your sharp, strong mind, like, you're unstoppable. You can make better calculated choices that are going to benefit your life, because you're going to feel better. You're going to be better. You're going to show it to people. And when you're making your masterpiece, your puzzle for life, your pieces are going to be a little bit better than they would have if you neglected yourself. So I urge you to make yourself a priority, to work on yourself, to create a life that you want to live, so that at the end of the road, at the end of your time, when you're lying on your deathbed and you look back at your masterpiece, it's something that you're truly proud of, and you're happy that you created it, and that every single piece that's in your puzzle is one that you want to be there, good or bad, because bad things are going to happen, and they're all part of the puzzle too. But as long as you learn from those bad ones, hey, it's part of the puzzle. You know, every bit of the puzzle has its own special mark. Okay, so before we end this episode today, I would like to read the quote one more time. Your life is a puzzle, and you are the creator of all of its pieces. Make it a masterpiece. All right. So thank you for joining me today. If you know anyone who would enjoy this episode, who might need this information, go ahead and share it to them. If you found that you resonated with any of this material today, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any future episodes that might help you out. And if you'd like to find me on a daily basis, you can find me on Facebook at the Social Seed Podcast. If you'd like to listen to the podcast, you can find me on Spotify. If you would like to read the podcast, then you can find me on thesocialseedpodcast.com. And once again, thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great year. Have a great life. Bye-bye.